Thank you for joining us with the Post Route with your host, W. Earl Kitchings.
Good evening and welcome to the Post Route, the show where we dive deep into conversation with black quarterbacks, both past and present. I'm your host, W. Earl Kitchings. This show is proudly brought to you by Quarterfied Back, the preeminent fraternity for black quarterbacks and the home of the prestigious BIP Memorial Trophy, the only award that honors both the top HBCU quarterback and black quarterback from high schools from around the nation. We're thrilled to have you with us tonight. And if you like what you see and like what you hear, hey, do us a favor. Subscribe to what we're doing, hit the support button, hit the notification bell, any one of those three things to let us know that you like what we're doing and you want to support us. Join us here every Monday night at 7 o'clock for more of our phenomenal conversations and our information, because we do bring you information that is very important and pertinent to what our mission is, which is to preserve the legacies of black quarterbacks. So, this is the final show of 2024, the last one we'll be doing. And we're going to close it out by bringing you some history and trivia, some rankings from the NFL, the final rankings from our Power Four quarterbacks, because all these bowl games happen and those stats will change. And then we're going to share with you some of the merchandise that is now available for you, our supporters, our guests, our fans, and how you can go about getting that, because all it takes is for you to go to our website, click on our email, let us know what you want, and we'll get that information and that merchandise out to you ASAP. We do it all through Zelle. We want to use that format and platform for making that possible. So, as I stated tonight, we want to just talk a little bit about the rankings from the NFL perspective, because we don't always get a chance to do a lot of talking about the NFL, but of course, they are just as important, because of course we've got guys from the NFL who are making their names known. So in week 17, and they've still got probably another month to go. So we aren't at the end of their rankings yet. But after basically 17 weeks of playing professional football, we've got that list put together. And we're going to start at the bottom with number 10. With only 10 games played this year, from the Pittsburgh Steelers, Russell Wilson, 2,334 yards and 15 touchdowns. The Steelers are still in the hunt for that playoff opportunity. Their record right now is 10-6. At number 9, from the Pennsylvania State also, Jalen Hurts for the Philadelphia Eagles, 2,903 yards, 18 touchdowns. The Eagles are 13-3. Hurts suffered an injury a couple of weeks ago, so he has not played in 2 weeks. So hopefully he'll be ready to go when they are ready to start that first round of the playoffs. At number 8, Jordan Love making his way up the poll. After 14 games he's played in this year, 3,320 yards and 25 touchdowns. The Packers are at 11-5. Not having a great season, but number 7 on our list, Caleb Williams, the rookie from USC playing for the Chicago Bears, has gone through the entire season, 16 games, 3,393 yards, and 19 touchdowns. The big thing about what Caleb has done this year, he's only thrown 6 INTs for a 4-12 Bears unit. At number 6, another outstanding player making his name, getting the Washington Commanders back in the hunt for playoffs, Jaden Daniels. After 16 games, 3,530 yards, 25 touchdowns, helping the Washington team to an 11-5 record. Looking to maybe squeak in to the NFL playoffs, Kyler Murray out there with the Arizona Cardinals. After 16 games, Kyler has thrown for 3,609 yards, 17 touchdowns, but The best they can do is either a 8-9 or a 7-10. If they go 7-10, they're definitely out. So we'll see how that goes. Another outstanding upstart for the Houston Texans, C.J. Stroud, 16 games for that young man, 3,677 yards, 19 touchdowns. They are at 9-7. At number three, the guy who is keeping the Midwest on fire, 16 games, 3,928 yards, and 26 touchdowns. That guy, you see him almost all the time in the commercials between T-Mobile and State Farm, the one and only Patrick Mahomes, guiding the Kansas City Chiefs to number one spot in the playoffs, number one spot for the entire playoffs. Right now, they're at 15-1. They could possibly go 16-1 with the next win. At number two, the guy who every kid seems to want to talk about, they definitely know his name, the one, the only Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson through 16 games, 3,955 yards, 39 touchdowns, leading the Ravens to 11-5 record. Only 4 picks on the season for this phenomenal quarterback. He has now taken over the all-time lead for rushing quarterbacks in the NFL, bypassing Michael Vick. And is sitting atop with 4,097 yards, 17 touchdowns, hoping to get the Seahawks in, the one, the only Geno Smith from Seattle. Through his 16 games, they are looking to hopefully go 10-7. If they go 9-8, I don't know if they'll make it. But that's our rankings through 17 weeks of the NFL season. So we hope that your favorite quarterback is on this list. There's some others. They just don't reach that level that we want them to be in our top 10, where it starts at about 2,300 yards. So Russell Wilson, Jalen Hurts, Jordan Love, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Kyler Murray, C.J. Stroud, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and the top of the list with Geno Smith. Now, I got some trivia for you today, and I want to bring it to you because it was brought to our attention here at the Post Route and Quarterfied Back of what is going on in the NFL with some of the teams as it relates to black quarterbacks. You know, there are 32 teams in the league, and for the most part, many of the teams have had black quarterbacks. Some have had multiple black quarterbacks to play at multiple times. Uh, the Ravens, a couple of years ago, had 3 black quarterbacks on their roster. Several years back, when David Garrard, Byron Leftwich, and Quinn Gray were playing for the Jacksonville Jaguars, they made up the depth chart for quarterbacks for the Jaguars at that time. Now, the trivia is, what team has had the worst record for having black quarterbacks? What team is that? And I'll give you a moment to think about it. I believe it's going to shock a lot of people. But let me just give you some history on some of the teams, because not all teams have always had rosters where they had a lot of black quarterbacks. So, being that the team that's the trivia question is, they've only had one. The Kansas City Chiefs had Warren Moon for one game in 2000, but Patrick Mahomes has been their quarterbacks basically since 2017. Jeff Blake, that gives the Chiefs 2. The Cincinnati Bengals with Jeff Blake in 94 through 99, and then Achilles Smith played in 17 games through his time with the Bengals. Michael Vick, of course, 2002 to 2005. Byron Leftwich played in 2 games in 2007. And now, of course, Michael Penix Jr. is that quarterback looking to emerge as a starter. That gives them 3. The Arizona Cardinals have had 3. Kyler Murray right now from 2019 to the present. Sean King played for them in 2004, playing in 2 games. In 2023, Joshua Dobbs played in 8 games. Houston Oilers / Tennessee Titans. When they were the Oilers, Warren Moon was the guy. I mean, we found out about Warren Moon because he just lit up the NFL after being left out of the mix for the NFL when he came out of college. He went to Canada, 5 consecutive Grey Cups. So the NFL said, well, maybe this guy's pretty good. So they brought him in, got in with the Oilers before he went to the Minnesota Vikings. So it was Warren Moon between 1984 to 1983. Steve McNair came on from 1995 to 2005, and Vince Young was the last black quarterback to play for the Tennessee Titans from 2006 to 2010. The Green Bay Packers, they've had 4 dating back all the way to 1953. That might shock you, but Charlie Brackens out of Prairie View A&M was on the roster of the Green Bay Packers in 1955. Didn't get a lot of playing time, but he was on that roster. Seneca Wallace, formerly of Indiana, played 1 game in 2013. So now you have Jordan Love, and backing him up is Malik Willis. The Cleveland Browns have had 10 black quarterbacks over the last 60 years or so. David Mays was the first black quarterback to play for the Browns back in the late 70s, around 77. He came out of Texas Southern, played in 7 games. Seneca Wallace, Thad Lewis, Jason Campbell, Tyrod Taylor, Deshaun Watson, Jameis Winston, Jacoby Brissett, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, Deshaun Kaiser, and Philip Walker. All have made the lineup for the Browns. Then you got another team that had a black quarterback way back in the day. He played with the Baltimore team. George Taliaferro played with the Baltimore franchise in 1953 and 1954. You need to do your research. Type in his name, Taliaferro, George Taliaferro. Check out his bio, and you'll see that he was listed on the Baltimore team 1953-54. From that point on, they didn't really have one until 2015. Josh Freeman played 1 game. Jacoby Brissett again surfaced between 2017 and 19, where he played in 15 games. And now, of course, they drafted Anthony Richardson in 2023. 4 games in 2023, 11 games this year before getting dinged up. So here we go with the rest of the we're going to go to our trivia question now. Sorry for the